And we have got the game going. We're gonna join the game on the side of cheetahhh. Just because I feel like I want to be looking at the match from the legendary player's point of view. I got nothing else right now as a valid reason. Let's add RastaFish's cards as well. It is a handlock variant. This is interesting. It's a handlock versus the Oil Rogue. If the handlock is stuck at something like 15 hit point radius, then the Oil Rogue should be able to burst it down fairly fast. But if it ends up being at a situation where you can just pop down the Molten Giants and be behind a taunt wall, then it's not that bad for the handlock. This Ancient Watcher combined with the Protector also buying you time in the early game. I wonder if it's a version with the Mountain Giants or without the Mountain Giants. Especially since we're seeing that Mountain Giant version being turned out of the current meta in favor of those demon options.
Thank you.
All the greetings going on, you can imagine. Since this is a friendly game, the emotes are not limited in any way.
Job's done.
Turn 2, no reason to pop down the Watcher yet. Just keep tapping for the bigger Twilight Drake on turn 4. We're gonna see it followed up with a Sludge Belcher, more than likely. RastaFish, instead of holding on to the Wicked Knife, he goes for the attack straight away. This would telegraph to cheetahhh that there is no poison in Rasta's hand right now. And on this turn 3, there's nothing to prep into. Not really. You can prep into the Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil, but there's no targets for it. It makes no sense. So just a vanilla 3-3 SI7 Edge and going for the second face damage attack with the dagger makes sense. Or you can go for the more conservative redo daggers option. Wait for there to be a chance to activate this SI7 Edge's combo. Oh, nice. Mountain Jump off the top of the deck. In this situation, I would actually go for the Mountain Giant, because of the fact that usually you would want to play the Twilight Drake. But if the Twilight Drake gets sapped back to your hand, the same situation would be with the Mountain Giant as well. It's unlikely that the Rogue will start developing enough things to take care of 9 hit points from the Drake or 8 from the Mountain Giant. And if he does commit all those cards like the backstabs and the combos from different cards like double eviscerates into it, it's really not that bad. And if he saps the Mountain Giant back, then you're gonna have a 3-mana Mountain Giant on the upcoming turn number 5, and that would not be too bad either. It's of course a more safe decision to go for the Twilight Drake first, because you're gonna play Mountain Giant for 4 mana on turn 5 then. Or you're gonna play down just one of these Sludge Belchers. But with the Loatheb down on the board, I think the Mountain Giant is a better choice than the Belcher. You could argue for the more mana efficient way of playing Belcher right now, sacrificing one of those Belchers. But yeah, tapping into the Mountain Giant makes a lot of sense. Yeah, now he can utilize the Loatheb into attacking the Mountain Giant plus comboing something into it to get rid of it. But at least you'll still have your Twilight Drake up waiting for something useful to come and maybe taunt it up or provide more pressure with it. You can even utilize the Shadow Flame as an AoE alternative in certain states. The Shiv for the card draw makes it so that he's looking to mill his deck, or actually draw cards from his deck, so he'll come up with an answer against these existing threats on the board. With the Shiv prep into oil, he has to make the decision of does he take care of the 8-8 or does he go for the value play of removing the 4-8 with the 8-5. Now the downside with going for the 4-8 is the fact that handlocks do have the option of using the Mortal Coil quite often. Then he would get value out of it. Since he goes for the sap play, he burns one card from the handlock completely and actually goes for the more aggressive face play. This makes a lot of sense. You're trying to force the opposing handlock to handle your big threats, not the opposing way around. And with that 4 attack weapon, you're holding on to 16 damage burst on the board alone right now. That's a humongous amount of burst right now. If you go for the 4-8 attack into 8-5, yeah, you can Mortal Coil out, see what pops up next. You'll still have the 3-mana Mountain Giant, but I definitely want to see a Sludge Belcher come down this turn. Or, if not a Sludge Belcher, then a Heal Bot. So you can turn yourself up a little bit out of this slump. If you go for the Mountain Giant play, it's really greedy. Because the burst potential from an Oil Rogue is very high. He's holding on to 8 damage with a single flurry, so he needs 6. So that's just a Southsea Deckhand into an Eviscerate. And that is it. He's still got the mana for it as well, so the Sludge Belcher is the safe play here. The Mountain Giant is probably the winning play if you want to go for it. It's unlikely there will be a second sap, but there we go. That's the best choice to go for. A completely correct decision. Backstab would deal 2, enable you to remove it with the knife, activate the SA7 agent, take care of the 1-2 taunter. You would still be left with 3. If you go for the break play though, then what are you looking to get from it? Backstab 3. No, you still can't. Well, you can go for the prep Phantom Knives to clear it out, yeah, but I think that's a bit of a waste of a prep, because now you draw into a sprint. Yeah, you can play the sprint as just a vanilla card, and now you're throwing out your charge minion as well. He values the charges on the weapon quite highly. I understand why he does that, but holding on to the Southsea Deckhand, in my opinion, is one of the better things you can do as Olodyn, because that's your only charge minion, really. Playing the SI7 agent as a combo card would have enabled him to have the 3-3 body on board. Yes, he would have lost 1 charge from the Wicked Knife, and sort of wasted 1 damage from it as well. But since he doesn't have the Blade Flurry, his burst potential would have actually been the exact same. If he's hoping to top deck the Blade Flurry, then this makes a lot of sense, holding onto the second charge so he can go for the face damage as well. Second Sludge Belcher into the Watcher. I want to see the Watcher over the Dark Bomb, because the Dark Bomb would effectively do absolutely nothing right now, and you don't want to go tapping, you're so low already. He was able to handle the first Belcher. Does he have the shots to take out the second one as well? Well, Deadly Poison makes it so that you can push out 6 damage, take care of that taunter. Add the 1-2 as well when you're resisting break. Nice a draw from the second Azure Drake there. Could have argued playing vanilla SI7 agent into a second SI7 agent to clear off with the attack from the dagger as well would have been an okay choice. But to take the risk of seeing what card you draw paid off this time. A ballsy move, nothing else. Shadow Flame onto your Ancient Watcher, clearing the board completely, and developing your own 8-8 as well. Since he used one of those charges from the weapon, Cheetah is a lot better off without playing any taunts or without any heals, because the damage burst potential from RastaFish just got a lot smaller. It was 12, now it's just 6, even with the flurry. And now you have the activated SI7 agent. It's an interesting choice to see where you throw the combo damage to. In my opinion, you could even argue that going for the 2 face damage, even though it enables the Molten Giants, would probably be an okay call. Since if you don't go for the aggression and you don't develop your second minion, then the amount of damage you're threatening is not significant. Well, of course, with boosted eviscerates, you've already used your spell damages instead of Thalnos. So the boosted Eviscerate is not an option either. That's the cautious way of not activating the Molten Giants earlier. They're gonna get played anyway. I actually think that going for the Twilight Drake into Sunfury Protector would also be an okay call. But the 8/8 is of course a bit bigger than the Twilight Drake. And you're in a position where it doesn't really matter what sort of health pool Drake is holding onto in the later game, because you're trying to force the opposing rogue to handle your existing big threats, and with your couple big giants go for the maximum amount of face damage. I like the way they're positioned as well, both guys looking towards the center. There, Molten Giant on your right side and your Mountain Giant on your left. There's the activated Eviscerate, as we talked about earlier. Unfortunately, right now it's being forced to be used on a minion. And still holding on to the second SI7 agent.
Well played.
10 on the board, 6 from the hand. You can develop the boom if you want. Or go for the Molten Giant heal bot. Yeah. With the heal bot, you pushed yourself so far ahead on the hit point pool against the rogue, and there's nothing they can draw into really. The sap, yeah, the sap takes care of the taunt. That's 9 damage plus 2 from the SI7 agent. So that would have been 11 damage. But with the heal bot, he's very, very safely out of the range.
This guy's toast.
Even though the handlock was sitting pretty at that 14 hit point range, where there's really not too many threats of the Molten Giants existing, wasn't enough. RastaFish did not have the cards he needed. He did not have a single Blade Flurry. He could not prep sprint at any point of the game to draw into the cards he needed. Basically running out of cards in that situation. It's a bit unfortunate, but sometimes it happens. He had the threats in his hand, definitely. Cheetah played around them very, very well. So it's 1-0 for a British player right now in this Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 23 semifinal number 2. And he has to go with the Paladin or the Priest. Opted to go for the Paladin, and RastaFish still sticking with his Oil Rogue. Not a bad choice. It is fairly strong against everything here, especially the Priest. I actually would have preferred to see the Hunter or the Mage, but I guess he tried to play around the fact that Cheetah might pick the Priest. Well. Throwing out all 3 cards and getting even worse as a starting hand, it's not looking good for Cheetah. When your smallest card is a 4-mana weapon and you have 2 of those in your hand to start with, not a great position to be in. Double Leon hands double True Silver Champion. This has got to be one of the slowest starts I've ever seen on a Paladin in a tournament match. Especially in our tournaments, I mean. Yeah, some deck variants do run double Leon hands. And if the game goes on long enough for him to be able to utilize both... Oh, a nice top deck muster there. A very good start. Had he not gotten the muster, his situation would have been far worse. Because now he threatens with the Quartermaster combo with the reinforcement coming up as well. So it's not that bad looking anymore. With the Fountain Knives here, the rogue player will of course be able to clear the board completely. But still, it fit the curve perfectly, enabled Cheetah to at least do something significant. Not wasting the charges from Light's Justice in order to play a True Silver Champion this turn. In favor of that, going for the reinforcement play. Yeah, I agree why you want to develop even the small minions right now. Makes a lot of sense. Shiv for the extra cards and hero power. He is at 9 cards right now, so he can still draw one more. And you know the Paladin might be holding on to cards like the Eldar Peacekeeper and very reactive cards. You don't want to give him targets on your board if possible. So that's the reason why Rasta goes for the more subtle hero power development instead of playing something else onto the board. Of course, the cards he's holding onto are also very situational. Double oil, double backstab, and the SI7 agent without a real activator, so didn't really have many options there. What would be the best way to develop? Preps? No, if you will go for the prep, 3 mana. Prep 3 mana, or oil down to 1. First play this SI7 agent, yeah. You could have gotten the combo SI7 agent with the Tinker Short Sword oil already off, but they're not in such rush. Playing the 5 mana perfectly on curve heal bot, yeah, it does waste 4 heal in a way, but it's not a significant waste. Backstab to get rid of the Divine Shield.
This guy's toast.
And there we have the combo going off. He obviously values keeping the Paladin side of the board clear very highly, because the fact that those 1/1s aren't really a threat normally. But you haven't seen any qualities yet. You haven't seen anything that would be strongly reactive as a card onto the board. And those 1/1s would enable them to make better trades against your minions, so I sort of understand why he goes for it. Dr. Boom, perfectly on curve, and an Ysera. Wow, this deck is slow. It's definitely full-on control, almost. Yeah, you can't get more control than Ysera. I wonder how he's been able to go through the aggro meta with this deck. Double lay on hands, Ysera. Yeah. It is a game-ending card, though. You might not run Ragnaros, or you might not run anything else except just Dr. Boom and Ysera with the Quartermaster Muster combos. So if that is the case, he has literally drawn on into all of his expensive cards. Each and every one of his expensive cards in this deck. Well, might start paying off. We'll wait and see.
Choose soon.
The Rogue has got a lot of activators in his hand. But the opposing side of the board is so intimidating that I understand why he is hesitant about making his calls. Yep, that's the right way to go about it. You want to activate both those bombs, then develop the Earthling Force here for the maximum amount of heal. Redo your weapon. You could have sapped the Dr. Boom. That's a big tempo swing. But you also remake the Boom bots on the upcoming turn, because it's quite likely that they would just replay the Dr. Boom. On this turn, number 8 from the Paladin player, I expect to see the Sludge Belcher combined with the Eldar Peacekeeper and go for the face damage. You're going to Peacekeeper the 3/3 just because you can, really. It fits the curve mana-wise. This lay on hands, you don't want to overdraw too much. You would push yourself up to 9. And waste some of that damage heal potential. Not damage potential, what I'm thinking about. There's no Alkana Soul Priest on board. That would be something. Lay on hands for 9 damage. Sorry, 8 damage. Going for the True Silver Champion means he's probably going to go for the hero power to clear the board. It's a very conservative play. Yeah. Of course, there's no rush for you to put out as much minis as you can. But I think the Belcher would have still been a pretty safe bet to eke out that sap. If he's got the sap, he's going to use it on the Belcher. And then you're wanting to play the Isera on turn number 9, and when they're down 1 sap already, it's a whole lot easier to play the big drop onto the board. Maybe he just wants it to be used on the Dr. Boom. You never know. Since he's got no activators and not enough damage output to push the Paladin down further, what's the damage potential here? It's 2 plus 6 plus 6. So that's 15 damage. Sorry, 14 damage. Yeah. Doing this makes a lot of sense. You could coin out the Eviscerate, but you don't have to do it yet. Since you already had all the pieces of the puzzle in your hand and the opposing player had not played down the taunt, this was a fairly good choice, I think. Although the Silverhand Recruit will get an amazingly valuable trade into the deck hand, it will still have pushed the Paladin very much to the edge. At 18 though, the Wicked Knife by itself will not be enough, since he's got 4 damage from Eviscerate as well. You want to attack with that weapon, you definitely want to get the heal from there, go for the face. It's looking good for the Paladin player, although the combo was able to be executed. Oh, Auctioneer in an all rogue deck. Interesting, this is definitely something you don't see every day. Usually, Oil Rogues run Sprint instead of any other card draw mechanics. If he does not sap the Dr. Boom, then he's dead next turn. Or is he? No, he used both. Yeah, both weapons have already. Trousseau has been used. So 7, and he needs 3. Nope, not enough. Using the Eviscerate to try and clear out the Boom, really? Nope, go for the face. Yeah, I just saw that wrong. Sapping down the Boom. Of course you use the poison to draw the card. This Auctioneer will not be alive for much longer. Left at 3. Consecration deals 2. You need 1 more. Is there any way for Cheetah to increase his attack value? No, there is not. He does not have lethal this turn. If he uses the second Lay on Hands, then he overdraws, so the Antique Healbot plus Sludge Belcher is far more likely to be happening. And you want to use your 7/7 to attack away the Auctioneer, because the Auctioneer by itself is a big threat on the board, enabling the Rogue to keep drawing as many cards as possible. With the Healbot, he's back to 11, and the Belcher should hold off the biggest amount of aggression. So now, the Flurry. Both oils have been used, both poisons have been used. Huh. To go for the sap on the 3/5 in a way would make sense, but you're probably afraid of a Tyrion right now anyway. Ouch, stung my hand on the board. Sorry about that one.
So many options.
Small amount of silence for my fumbling around with my own work table. So where was I? Yeah, if he saps out the 3/5, then he can go for the 1 damage from the dagger and 2 damage from the SS7 development. Both minions would be able to trade with what exists on the board, but if you see the Tyrion pop down after that, it's pretty much over. Wow, sap on the 7/3? Well, you would be dead, that's true. Yeah. Because you don't have the damage potential to take care of the 7/3. Unless you go and attack it with your face or go Dagger Mastery into Blade Flurry. Yeah, he's forced to use the sap there. My analysis would have been correct had he not been this low in hit points. Failed to put that into the account as well. Let's see, 6 on the board, he needs 4. Nope, still not enough. Unless these boom bots get procced next turn somehow. Is he gonna overdraw with the lay on hands? The threat of the spell damage from the Azure Drake is quite high. I suspect playing a Consecration and clearing the board right now with your existing minions would be an okay play. Consecration, use this heal bot to take out the Azure Drake. Use the Sludge Belcher to take out the SS7 agent. Develop the board with your own minions. Shredder plus hero power. Or just double Peacekeeper if you feel like keeping your existing minions on the board. Peacekeeper bot with Dr. Boom is interesting. It does provide you with lethal come next turn, and you still have your 3/5 taunt up, but the spell power minion is also up. The Dagger Mastery plus Blade Flurry deals 2 damage to the whole board. Oh, eviscerating out Dr. Boom. Well, there goes your win condition. If he'd been able to deal 5 damage to the face, then Tyrion would be left with 2. Yeah, still no way to get through the taunts. I understand why that was done. It was a lost game anyhow. It is now 2-0 in favor of Cheetah. Both plays both games fairly long. Only the priest left, and now he should definitely go for the rogue. Previously, the rogue has not been able to provide much, but now RastaFish should have this. Old rogue versus traditional priest or the new Valen's chosen priest. They are both very good matchups for the rogue. Some mineral water to refresh my dead voice. Nah, it's not dead, it's fine. I guess the switch to summertime sort of weighs down on me as it does on everyone else. Finland just had the weekend where we switched our clocks 1 turn forward, so there you have it. No targets for Cheetah to play his Shadowward Pain on. No reason to play his hero power either. Just go ahead and pass it to the rogue. And wow, a Cobalt Geomancer. That tells me that this isn't a 100% complete deck. Because the Cobalt Geomancer is one of those cards you swap in if you don't have the whole collection. Job done. Or is there some reason why you would definitely need that spell damage +1? I'm struggling to find this spot. And he didn't even play it on turn 2. Played the hero power instead. Well, I guess because of the deadly poison in his hand. Just a bit on the 3/3 force here. It's at least something. Probably gonna get Shadow Worded out. There aren't a whole lot of big value targets for the Shadow Word Pain. In this matchup anyway. If you play the Blade Master, then the 3/3 will be able to make a value trade. It's an interesting choice. I would not have seen that one coming. You are in no rush to develop your side of the board, and you're just giving off the trade without getting any value out of that. Yep, there's the Light Bomb. This deck is running Auctioneer as well. Holy moly. Auctioneer in your priest deck. Well, the Soul Priest in theory is good against the Shredder, but in practice... Nope, double Auctioneer does absolutely nothing. Instead of the sprint, he has the auctioneers in the deck. When you've got double, you can't really do a whole lot. Patient Assassin. Interesting. So now even if Cheetah is able to develop the board with big minions, Patient Assassin would be able to take it out. Of course, the Light Bomb being the perfect answer against the Stealth Dominion, which has the attack value to kill itself. It's only 2 for 1, so it's not that great. But there's really nothing else in his hand that would be good to play. Cabal Shadow Priest with no targets to just get Patient Assassin out. Yeah. Blade Master into Light of the Naru is 4 mana. You're still left with 3 mana. You can argue to go for the hero power and buff your summoned Light Warden. But using the Stolen Eviscerate makes a lot more sense. Of course, this Auctioneer is stolen. Yeah, that's why it's in the deck. Wow. Yeah, sorry about that. My bad. I gotta take a short break before we go to the finals. I'm starting to lag a little. But that Stolen Eviscerate was definitely value, getting rid of the 5 mana as a Drake. RastaFish's hand is fairly full. At 2 mana, if you eviscerate the 4/6, what are you looking to go for? You're looking to go for the prep? Prep into Deadly Poison, maybe? Or prep... Oh, prep into Fear of Fan and Knives, definitely, yeah. But you're gonna overdraw for 1. Next turn. Yep, at Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil, then 1 more card, you're at 10.
Mistake.
Yep, he's overdrawing for 1.
My apologies.
And this Light Warden will still stay alive and enable with the North Shire Cleric to draw more cards as well.
Is someone injured?
Let's see what the card draw is. Nothing on the board right now that would... Oh, Thoughtsteal. Well, that's gonna get played. At 1 mana... Oh, backstab. Double backstab. Holy moly. That's exactly what you needed. Like, literally, you needed the backstab. At 2 mana, yeah, the Shiv would have also been okay.
My apologies.
What was that burned? Was it Eviscerate? I missed it. I was so enthralled by those previous mod games and those Thoughtsteal targets that couldn't help myself.
This guy's toast.
Alright, the rogue has been able to wrestle board control back to himself. Or herself in this case. The Sneeds looks really enticing. Looks good, but unfortunately Sap from RastaFish's side will be able to completely neutralize it. Lothep Sap is 7. You could also argue for the heal bot, but that's low impact right now. Lothep Sap Geomancer. That would be an okay turn this time. No reason to fan and out cycle. And why are you holding on to the Geomancer really? You'd want to play that one out right now. Yes, it can get Cabal Shadow Priested, that's true. It's one of the only reasons why you want to hold on to it in your hand right now. Double Deadly Poison, and don't attack. Oh, alright. Well, I guess they are attacking anyway. If you're gonna commit so much to your weapon, and you're holding on to double Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil as well, then you should hold on to the attack value of the weapon, just in case you draw into your flurry. You would get a massive amount of damage out of it. And the double sap, perfect timing. That's Sneed Old Shredder's not sticking to the board, not at all. Double Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil. Consider if he had not attacked with this Wicked Knife last turn, it would be a sick 11 damage left onto the board after this. If he hadn't attacked though, it wouldn't have been lethal. So, don't mind me, I'm just talking what I want right now. Of course, Rasta knew it better. He could calculate that it was lethal for 24. This shows that I'm not confident with Oil Rogue myself yet. That amount of burst is just pretty ridiculous. He needed a 2-mana spell as well. He needed an exactly 2-mana spell to enable those Sharp Sword Oils to be played this turn. That sap had a perfect target for it. Very well executed, but like I said, that is a lopsided match. The rogue should pretty much always take it. The priest is still left against a mech mage and a face hunter, and in both those matchups it's strong. And the conquest format we're using means that you have to win a match with each and every one of your decks. Since Cheetah has already won with Paladin and his Warlock, the Priest is his only option left. It's not that bad. The Face Hunter can overwhelm you, and we didn't see any big taunts in the Priest deck. That could be a problem. No taunts. Yup, there we go. There's the Hunter. The Mech Mage should be a bit easier. There's the taunt. And the Nova as well. This is a very good starting hand. And he throws out the Belcher. What are you hoping for that would be better than the Belcher in this matchup?
Job's done.
If you guys know what would have been better than the Belcher in this matchup, go ahead and tell. I would have held on to the Blade Master and the Belcher myself.
Put this apple on your head.
Powered Shield with no targets, plus Hero Power. That has no targets. There we go, healing our opponent's face.
Thank you.
Very polite. Double Glaive Zuka. I think he is going to play them out. The modern version of Face Hunter nowadays actually runs only one Glaive Zuka. I think that's the one that's most popular. Double Glaive Zuka is, because of this exact reason, is not so popular. It's a bit slow to get out, and it usually doesn't have good value targets. On turn 3, this Animal Companion, or one of these Animal Companions, will definitely see play. If it happens to juggle into the Blade Master, then the removal from the Glaive Zuka is going to be real. You just hope for it to hit. If it's Hoffer and it doesn't hit, then you change the trade the Hoffer into the 4/3. If it's Amisha, then at least Amisha is protecting your juggler. Leok is the worst possible option. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Now you use your weapon to go for the 4/2. That's for RastaFish is playing the Face Hunter. Absolutely correct. Blade Master, Powered Shield. Try and draw into those answers. Maybe one of those Belchers that you just discarded. No, well, the Pyromancer, not a bad thing to get. Unfortunately, though, there are no spells that would be enabling it at this turn. Shadow Madness also has no targets. Kill commanding the Blade Master, so you're still able to hold on to the pressure. Double Pyro does nothing. The Holy Nova will kill off the 4/2 Knife Juggler, so it will be played since it's really the only option. And on turn 6 you can Soul Priest Hero Power out the Misha, but 10 damage from Face Hunter, it's unlikely, but it's possible. Let's see, 4, 6, 7. He's got 11 damage, so 3 off lethal this turn. Ah, the Glaive Zuka this turn, nope. Since he got the double Misha, it risks putting the extra damage onto the Misha that's unable to attack, so you don't want to be using that. The Hero Power establishes the exact same thing, but without the risk. Yep, turn 6 was once again pre-written, but now just pop the Arcane Golem, or just the Glaive Zuka Hero Power, and you win. There we go. It is now 2-2. The good side of these Face Hunter matches is they're very, very fast. Very quick to go through. And Cheetah's Priest deck might end up failing him. He was at a 2-0 lead. Now let's see if the light will be able to carry him forward against that mech mage. This is definitely the hardest matchup for Rasta, since the priest does have a lot of options to handle those pesky little mechs. While we're waiting for the match to start, I'm gonna go ahead and grab myself some more water to drink. I will be right back and join you guys as the match gets going. I suggest you go get yourself something along those lines as well, to keep you alive and awake, waiting for these great matches to come to a halt. We will be, after this match, we will be going to the final itself. So whoever wins this one goes to face JJ in the grand final. Let's ask the players why the match hasn't started yet. Alright, so it was just a short delay. Probably mentally preparing for the coming matchup.
You asked for it.
The light shall bring victory.
Now here, the Harrison Jones is a completely dead card. That will be traded out. And oh my, that is an aggro mage. Yup. Mana Worm, Leper Gnome, Mad Bomber. Full on aggro, probably. This I did not expect to see, you guys. Props to you, RastaFish, for bringing in something that's definitely new. Or been out of the meta for a long time. Now the thing you have to think about here is, do you play the Leper Gnome or do you play the Mana Worm? I personally think you should go for the Leper Gnome, although the Mad Bomber might end up killing it. It has the bigger damage potential. I got a lot of pain, so it's not a full-on aggro. I don't know what to think. Honestly, I'm a bit flabbergasted right now. So you play the Acolyte of Pain and you hope that the bomber hits it?
Job done.
Is this what's going on here? Thought Steal, he sees the Leper Gnome and he sees the Frostbolt and he's like, oh yeah, this is some sort of aggro variant. Arcane Intellect. Yeah, it does buff the Worm, that's true. It has got to be some sort of aggro variant. The Acolyte of Pain is just an interesting choice there. Maybe because of the card draw from the Fire Blast? Yeah, that could also be a reason. The Frostbolt will be used to clear out this Worm. Northshire Cleric, Frostbolt, makes a lot of sense. You could argue that you could go for the Leper Gnome Frostbolt as well, but the Leper Gnome will be removed easily with the opposing hero power, while as the Northshire Cleric will need both the Leper Gnome and the Fire Blast to get rid of it. Apprentice, free Arcane Missiles, and if the missiles don't hit properly, use your Leper Gnome. Otherwise, use your hero power. We're gonna go for the Bomber. All to the face. No, one of them actually hits the minion. And face to the missiles. Free missiles for everybody. Wow. In a traditional sense of this game, one could argue that that is a Dennis move if I've ever seen one, but since it is an aggro, no, it's not an aggro. It's got Ice Barrier. What? What?
I'll show them. I'll show them.
Maybe it's to counter another aggro. If you're playing this against another aggro deck, you want the value from the Mad Scientist to get those barriers up. Alright, the Bomber, and of course it trades with the Blade Master. The Blade Master was a bad position. Turn 5, Nova. Ice Block. Okay, you're probably going to see the Acolyte of Pain hero ability ping onto it this turn. I think. Yeah, there's really no reason to commit the other Ice Barrier plus this Mad Scientist onto the board. The Acolyte of Pain hero power makes a lot of sense. You get the card draw out of it. Might get lucky and get another one of those 1-mana minions that your deck is stock full of. The second Bomber, well, that's not it. Holy Fire, not gonna get used. Soul Priest, so you can remove the opposing minion. He was afraid that this would probably be some sort of mirror entity, but now that he's seen that it's not a mirror entity, I don't know what he's expecting. Do we go for the Bomber or do we go for the Scientist? I think you go what? You go for neither. Why would you not develop the board with the Scientist? Why would you leave it in your hand? What's his value if he's in your hand? Is this some sort of net deck? Is this something new that I just haven't seen? He's trying to push the opposing priest down to 10, so his Pyro will be able to finish the game off, of course, but... If he goes for the... he'll have to go for the Fireball damage on turn 9. On turn 9, you push for the Fireball hero ability damage. That's it. Yeah, the reason why he didn't play the Mad Bomber last turn is because he wanted to proc onto this Acolyte, maybe? If you're... Yeah, no. He didn't want to play the Mad Scientist because he wanted it to draw a secret, and both secrets were already up. So that's the reason why he didn't play them. The reason it's so hard to analyze this deck is the fact that I have no idea what's going on. It's not a deck that I'm accustomed to seeing. It's some sort of burst plus finisher. So it's a variant of freeze without the actual freeze. Variant of freeze with these random damage dealers instead. Dealing damage to your own Alkanai Soul Priest would not be a good idea. The only reason you're doing that is so you can kill off the Alkanai, so you'll actually be able to heal yourself. Yep, there's the Ice Barrier. Yep. I think Cheetah's smelling it. He's seeing that this is somehow a Burst Mage variant. And since he can't heal himself, he's really afraid of the potential damage here. There's the Fireball, hero power. So even with the heal, if he's able to activate it without the Soul Priest, he's dead to that Pyro. Wow. What an ender. What an ender, guys. That is truly spectacular. Holy Fire to the face will let him stay alive. It will let him stay alive, yeah. But now the Pyroblast has to be played. It has to be played. This turn, if ever, you play the Pyroblast. Yep. And then you go for the lethal come next turn. Even though he heals himself again, unless he top decks into another Holy Fire, it's not going to be enough. Thought Steel, if it's an Ice Block, it's not an Ice Block. The Ice Block would have saved him also. What else? I don't think there's anything else in the Mage arsenal that would have helped. Frostbolting your own 1/2 Acolyte so you can draw into an answer. It's a desperate move, but it's pretty much the only move you can do right now. If you heal yourself up to 5, then you just pray that he doesn't have it. You're just hoping that the opposing mage doesn't have the second Fireball or Frostbolt. Crossbow to the face, so you can activate the Pyro for the draw. At 3 mana, though, there's not any cards that would enable you to get out of this alive. Yep, and there we go.
Well
RastaFish takes it with his Burst Mage. GG, well played. Definitely something new. Thank you for bringing that to the tournament. We will see RastaFish from the Czech Republic go face off against JJ102 from Germany in our grand finals, which will start in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere, we'll give the players a chance to gather themselves up for the final. And we'll be right back.